being goddess state is always within reach. It's a state of activating the next version of you that's always wanting to show up. It's pivoting out of the imposter syndrome, head on, eyes open, even within the darkness of this major uprising. Welcome to the Rise of the Goddess Collective. I am your host, Michelle Julian, your goddess guide. So excited to be here with Dianne Shelton, and we met online. Actually, we developed a relationship online. So this is a very exciting interview for me because I feel like we know each other even though we met each other online. So basically, Dianne Shelton, she is a former Fortune 500 management consultant turned award-winning certified business coach and systems strategist, and the founder of Passion Breakthrough. Amazing. I love the name of it, Passion Breakthrough.
Thank you.
You have a passion and you break through. So through her platform, she helps women implement practical strategies and simple systems so they can build their thriving online businesses. So one of the fun questions I love to ask my goddesses, because Dianne is one of the goddess collectives that's in the Rise of the Goddess Activation Facebook group. And she shows up and shares her superpowers and her wisdom. She's so good at sharing, and it's very, very valuable information. It's not like just blah, 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 you know? It's powerful stuff that you share. So do you have a motto or a quote? If so, what is it?
Yeah, so thank you for asking. So my motto is just to take imperfect actions every day towards your goals. That is simple and straightforward, and hopefully everyone can benefit from that.
Yeah. So if you're not taking action because you feel like it's not exactly the way you want it to look like, you're limiting yourself to moving forward with whatever it is that you're working on. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so what it is that what I found, because in my corporate days, I did some business analysis work. So what that means is that, I've learned early on in my career that analysis paralysis is real. So you can be planning and planning and planning, and you might have all the expertise in the world, and you might be the best person to be the one telling everyone about that one problem they should be solving. But at the end of the day, if you're not taking actions, you're not getting out there, no one's going to see your expertise. No one's going to see the genius behind what you have to offer. And you're not doing your audience any benefit from just doing a lot of planning and not taking imperfect actions.
Yeah, I love that because I really think as a new online entrepreneur, even someone that's not even online, someone's offline, we're always planning the strategy. We're always making the idea and then planning it out, but actualizing it, taking it to the next step of facilitating what it is that we want to share, whether it's a service or a product. If we get in that overthinking mode, then we end up being paralyzed. So I love that you are sharing that with your own wisdom. So speaking of passion and breakthroughs and wisdom, you know how I look at things. I look at where people are personally in their lives and with their businesses, what would you say for yourself? What chapter in your life are you in right now with your business? And also, you can share something personal if you feel comfortable doing that.
Yeah, it's very personal to me, so I don't mind sharing it. This is all about what I love inspiring other people through my story because I think we can all benefit from that, right?
Mhm.
So the previous chapter in my life that led me to this chapter, so just to kind of paint the story, is that I came out of a toxic relationship where it was a codependent and, just having to provide for someone else and not taking care of myself first. And what I want to do was my life. And then it also was a twofer in terms of like my corporate days behind me was leading to burnout. And so I just, like it wasn't an easy decision and it wasn't like an overnight, just everything clicked. But I had to make a hard decision and I had to take a leap of faith to decide that, you know what, life, you only have one life, really. You see all these hashtag YOLOs, but it was true for me in terms of, like I had to take those imperfect actions. It was super scary to say that, you know what, this toxic relationship is no longer for me. This corporate days of having burnout, sure, it's very successful, but at the end of the day, my health matters to me too. And all those, like the things that I could be doing and the people that I could be helping. So I decided that I'm going to I'm going to pursue what I really want, which is to have my own business and help other people to also start their own businesses and to kind of take what I had in my experience for my background in IT and my MBA to just create my own business and leverage my knowledge and my education to help others. So that's a little bit about where I am right now in terms of my chapter. Right now, I am helping women specifically to help them with building their online businesses because I really believe like right now I'm loving my life right now, even though with everything going on around us, right? I feel like the freedom-based lifestyle isn't just for the one percenters. It's really, the online space has really opened it up for all of us to experience, and it's made us so much more connected. You can have friends all over the world. You can reach people and you can touch people's lives all over the world rather than in a small corporate setting. So I want other people to experience that and have more impact in their lives as well. So that's where I am right now in my chapter.
I love that. I love that. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, there's a little bit of a lag
I
and
think
sometimes
you
it cuts
just
in and out,
froze.
but it pretty much, for the most part, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, I can hear the lag too. But that's okay. We'll fix that with the editing component. Hopefully my assistant can help me with that. I've never had it be so glitchy like this. So anyway, so why don't we also talk about how during this pandemic, when it started in 2020, how did you need to innovate, and how did you go about doing that?
Yeah, so it's a funny story because when I created Passion Breakthrough, to be honest with you, is that, my clientele at the time were like everyone, because it's just like, okay, well, everyone should be pursuing their passion, right? And everyone should have a breakthrough. But then over time, with the pandemic and also me just doing some revisiting of my own self and seeing what I really truly love doing, it became clear to me over time. Again, it's that taking imperfect actions, is that I love empowering women because in the tech field, it's very male dominated. And it was about, like it's just very toxic masculinity that was existing there, which is what really opened my eyes to want to help women, to empower them and inspire them. And I think that, like there's space for all of us women to like people that are women that are overwhelmed with technology. I feel like having the right tools and the simplicity aspect of it for online businesses will help empower them that, hey, this is possible for you too. So that is where I feel like the pandemic, because there's more people that were wanting to also jump in the online space, it really led into having that kind of niche down for me a little bit more as well.
Yeah, I hear a lot about niching. What is your take on entrepreneurs looking at their particular audience, and what if they're like multi-talented, multi-passionate entrepreneurs and they're really just not sure how to like create or focus on a particular niche?
Yeah, that's a great question. I have a lot of my clients that they come to me stuck with that very thing. And so, I mean, I have a workbook that helps with that. It's very simple and it uses the 4x4 matrix in regards to, like having what you love and what you're good at and what you can help other people with and what you can make money off. Because this is such a simple tool. Some people still struggle with it because it's really a matter of, first off, you need to take a step back in regards to which of those four things is really most important to you. Because, like sometimes it depends on our, chapter in our lives. Sometimes because you have to provide for your family, money is more important. So maybe now is not necessarily the time that you have to put aside the things that you want to do in order to provide for your family first. Or maybe, you have the time and the flexibility to pursue what you truly love doing. So you kind of have to prioritize those four things for yourself. And in terms of niching down, when you are ready to take that passion into a business, you have to take a look at what type of transformation and what type of value is your audience looking for, right? It's all about the other person. Kind of glitched there for a minute. And then I can't hear you.
How about now?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
That's better.
Awesome. Okay, great.
I don't think it's.
You were talking.
Yep. I just want to make sure it's still recording for you. So it looks like it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So
Okay.
you were talking about how you help the entrepreneur figure out their passion and their multi ideas, because we as entrepreneurs, we're visionaries. We're constantly thinking out of the box and seeing how we can do things differently, because that's why we're an entrepreneur, right?
Exactly.
So great that you have a method to help women with the passion so then they can have their breakthrough. And I think that was one of the reasons why you and I connected. You were in a group and I think you had your first product, which I think was the passion breakthrough product template through the Biz Template Women's Facebook group. That's where we met. And I remember signing up online and I reached out to you right away. And this was like during the pandemic, I believe. I'm pretty sure it was during the pandemic. And we just, kind of like hit it off. We just immediately liked each other, which is kind of a rare occurrence, I really think, when you're meeting people online, because I know you probably feel this way too, but a lot of people that are online aren't really what they're saying, they're not really what they're saying they are. Their shininess is not really
I agree
who
with
they
that.
are. They kind of like hide behind their pictures, their memes, their blogs, but when you can get them actually on a one-on-one call like we are doing right now, because this is like real and raw, like we're having a real conversation and we're understanding how we're both passionate about our businesses and how we can raise each other up in sharing and collaborating. And we don't have to fear that we're competing with each other. And I really think that's so, so important that people know that are coming on new online that it's possible. It's just that you have to be patient and discerning in who you spend your time with. So how do you do that being online, Dianne? How do you do that with your own intuition and running your own online business?
Yeah, I I like that question because it's all about being discerning to your point, right? In regards to you have to protect your energy and your time because to your point, the online space is so noisy and everyone is claiming to be something and possibly something that they're not. And it's finding people like Michelle who is just a you're showing up as your real self, right? And you hear this term authentic all the time, but really what I like to do for myself and also what I look for when I look for people that I want to vibe with is people that are sincere. Because I
Mhm.
think to me that's more important in regards to like showing up as your sincere self, because then you really are building that relationship, right? Because to me, there's two things that you need to be working on with your business. It's all about the revenue generating activities, but also the relationship building activities is very important also. So, and for me, what I found helpful is that choosing the path of least resistance, right, is very helpful because I feel like we often make it difficult for ourselves. Like we're trying to chase someone that's really not our audience or not really our partners. And
Mhm.
then, like when you find someone that vibe with you, it's
Mhm.
just one of those things that everything flows so much smoother, right? And one
Absolutely.
of the words that you've mentioned earlier in our conversation was organic. You want to build something that is organic and not
Mhm.
something that is, like that you put too much time and effort into it. Because
Mhm.
to me, it's all about maximizing our results for the minimal effort because we have limited time and energy. And it's okay if you have to change your mind later, and it's okay if like you have to take a step back or just take a rest for a while, because that's the other thing too, I feel like, is that we have to give ourselves more grace in terms of like you have to be more self, you have to be your number one cheerleader first, and then you can
Mhm.
show up and have relationships with other people, because then the whole expectation is not dependent on the other person because you know how and why you're showing up first for yourself.
I love that. I love that. It's really showing up for yourself first. And then that radiates out to your passion. So the person that's going to align with that, you that shows up for you first, they're going to have like an aha breakthrough because it's natural, because they're relating to you, right? Because we always talk about, your brand, your business is you, especially if it's something that you created or it's something that you have published or have written. So, what's next for you, Dianne, for 2021 and the next, I would say, quarter? This is spring. It's the spring
Yes.
equinox. The light is light and bright here in Massachusetts. What are you bringing in to 2021 for this time, for this quarter?
Yeah, so thank you for asking. So besides my one-on-one coaching programs for my business, I've also decided to create a suite of done for you and do it yourself training and plug and play systems, because like you and I were talking in regards to creating a podcast, like I have created systems because I'm a techie like that and I love technology. So I've created all these systems, and like what I was saying earlier, and the insight I was sharing with you, I want to talk the talk and walk the talk, or how do you say that? Talk the
Yeah.
talk and walk the walk.
Yes,
So,
exactly. That's
so
exactly how you say it. Walk the talk and talk the walk.
yeah, I'm not a native, not I'm a non-native English speaker, so I'm always having a hard time with these English idioms. So I'm
Yeah, yeah,
always
yeah.
like, wait,
Love
is
it.
that the right way to saying it? But
Believe me, I don't even say it probably right, and I'm English.
yeah, so I feel like all of these different knowledge in regards to what I was telling you guys to do for yourselves earlier in terms of like, don't do analysis paralysis and don't be that person that have all of these insights and experience and not sharing it with the world. So because my expertise right now and that whole taking imperfect actions and having conversations like I'm having with Michelle and other amazing women as well, is that, you know, like I'm really good with technology, so why not help other people whose zone of genius is not technology? So that's why I want, you know, like I want to help someone so that they're not scared anymore and they're not overwhelmed anymore and they can build that online business that they're looking for.
I love it. I love it because, do it yourself is real. Because if you decide to do your business yourself and you're incorporating, integrating technology, which most businesses are, whether you're online or off, you need to have systems that you can do yourself to update and maintain so you can keep creating and sharing, so you can take, as you would say, the aligned action, even though it's not perfect. And to have somebody like you as a support to help empower another person to do it themselves, that's so, so exciting and so necessary now in this, pandemic where everybody really is taking their offline businesses and doing something, even if it's just a basic landing page and then another link to sign up to get an appointment with that person to talk to them. Like a simple 3-stepper like that requires a lot of back end setting up, and people aren't aware, or they think, oh, those 3 things should be really easy to set up, and then they start, you know, starting that process, and then they realize, wow, there's a lot more to this. This is a little bit more complicated than I realized. I don't know if I really even want to do this technology thing and this online thing. And then also they go to that point and then they think, well, I need to hire somebody. And we all know that you probably do offer one-on-one services, but sometimes one-on-one services can be like $5, $10, $15,000 just to get a 3-stepper done. So I would love you to share with the audience, because I'm sure they're dying to know how they can work with you. And they know that, you're generous and you give a lot of value, how they can get in touch with you so they could potentially get that information for you and see how they could actually do something themselves, or maybe they could hire you, for a 30-minute or an hour or something, just to have them kind of jumpstart the process.
Right. Yeah. So the best way that I've found that I typically do, to your point, like I love giving and I love just getting on conversations with people, is that I do offer a free strategy session with people. So if they just go on my website at passionbreakthrough.com, there's a link right on top in terms of like scheduling a call with me. And from there, I don't do hard selling. I've never been good at it. I don't like doing the script. So it's really, I spend about 90% of the conversation really helping solve the problem. And then at the end of the call, I provide, the next steps, whether it's working with me and having me help, create it for you, or you do it yourself, or a different alternative. I don't mind just getting on a quick conversation with people and helping them unblock those things. So yeah, that's the
I
best
know
way.
this to be true about you because we've had a couple of conversations, various conversations over a year or 2 now. It's now going to be like our 2nd year of knowing each other. I just love getting to know you. And I'm so excited that you decided to jump on this bandwagon of podcasting because I know that you were going to create some systems and templates to make it easy. And you've already helped me figure out how to get onto Apple Podcasts. And we were talking earlier about how you could help me learn how to edit my podcast so it, the value is there. Is it perfect? No, nothing's ever perfect, but you want the person to be able to hear you, see you, and get the message that you're sharing. So I am so happy that you had this time today, that technology, did get a little freaky, but we figured it out and we actually made it happen. So before we end our podcast conversation, can you just tell me what is one of your favorite hacks to get through the day, whether it's an app or your favorite coffee or something that inspires you to keep going?
Yeah, so this is a simple strategy from a time management perspective. And you've probably heard of this too, Michelle, the Pomodoro technique, where you work for 25 minutes and then take 5 minutes, and every couple hours you take a longer break. And it sounds simple, and it's one of those things that at first I was hesitant to try it out, but I get so much more done. But at the same time, because sometimes I like to hyper focus on things in terms of like when I'm working on my business, I don't necessarily take breaks, honestly. So every 25 minutes, I make sure that I have that balance in my life, and I get up, I stretch, like have a quick conversation with my family. So it's just one of those things that it's really necessary to make sure that you have some sort of technique like this. So it's called Pomodoro technique.
I love that. That is so cool. And to have people hear this, that it's okay to take a break, that
Yes.
you're not supposed to be behind the computer or behind your desk, head down for 4 hours straight to get something done. And it's actually unhealthy, not
Right.
only for your body, but for your mind. And we here as goddesses don't want to be overworking and hustling in that way that's actually not good for our souls. So I'm so glad that you shared your juicy tip. And I can't wait to have you back on the podcast talking about something else that maybe you and I can do together. We might be able to create something that the goddesses would love, your audiences would love, my audience would love. And it's always an opportunity for us to both raise each other up. And I just want to thank you so much. Is there anything you want to say before you say goodbye?
I just want to say thank you again for having me. I really enjoyed our conversation. And again, it's one of those things that, like it was an organic conversation, and just doing this with you just makes my heart just flutter. Thank you again.
Thank you. Have a wonderful Tuesday, and we'll be talking soon. Have a great day. Bye for now. Thank you for being here inside the Goddess Collective. I wanted to let you know that when you come to the collective, you are receiving free resources that help you with your self-awareness. I created free trainings for you. It's the Julian Method Goddess Activation Group. It's free, and it's a face group collective to help you get started with a new way of living. Follow along and witness the power of intentionally living with me, and step in to the new realm of self-care for the activated goddess. They're bare bones, basic 101 goddess tips and tools. You'll get a 3-day consecutive boot camp. It's a taster of the Julian Method. I help you get started on your goddess practice. You'll find it at the JulianGoddessCoaching.com. And also, a real special treat, you can receive the Being and Becoming Goddess Oracle deck. Yes, I birthed this during the pandemic. Super juicy. You'll receive a published deck with a digital deck and also your own goddess activated meditation audio. Juicy, juicy goddess things are in store for you. I am so excited for you and this journey. Have a glorious day, and remember, your activation is my activation. Have a great day.